if I told you that a hardened criminal changed my perspective about love forever? I'll never forget it. It was 25 years ago. I was watching the news that featured a prison cat program. I'd never heard of that before. Cats and kittens were given to vetted inmates to care for and raise. This interview highlighted one particularly rough-appearing inmate. What he said moved me profoundly. He said, raising this kitten into a cat had transformed his entire being. It had rehabilitated him on many levels because he said, and I quote, "It was the first time in my entire life that I'd ever experienced love." Tears ran down my face as I watched this man cradling the orange cat in his weathered arms. Today I'd like to share with you why this topic matters and why it is more relevant right now than any other time in history. Consider this. We live amongst unimaginable innovation. We have space travel, robotic limbs, quantum computers, gene editing, driverless cars, and AI. But in this age of incredible innovation, we're seeing growing rates of anxiety, depression, mental health disorders, homelessness, addiction, and suicide. Why in an age of modern miracles and technologic advancements are we suffering such desperation and destitution? After practicing medicine for 25 years, I can tell you, many of our greatest human struggles can be traced back to one place, where love was absent. When I say the word love, what comes to mind for you? Many people think romance, a partner, or a war memory. But the kind of love I'm talking about today is different, not mere emotion or a fragile sentiment. It is the unyielding forge of biology itself, a life force. It's the dissolution of the self's brittle shell where ego gives way to service. And like the mitochondria of the soul, it's a powerhouse that burns its own reserves to fuel another's ascent. Like the theory of quantum entanglement, it defies the illusion of separation, where every act of kindness ripples in waves, shaping and lifting our evolution. Love builds complex neural networks in a baby's brain. It calms stressed nervous systems, and it heals wounds that pharmaceutical medications could never reach. In this age of artificial intelligence, disconnection, and division, love is the antidote. I can hear the skeptics. Love as an antidote sounds whimsical and naive. But my insight comes from my own healing journey, from my life's work, and from my research and inquiry into the science of love and the mysteries of the heart. As a survivor, I lived it. In the pre-dawn hours, on a cold November morning, when I was 16 years old, walking to my bus stop, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned to find a man wearing a surgical mask coming quickly towards me. That attack on a street in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, was nothing short of terror. The memories would come in fragments, police cruiser lights spinning through the shutters of my childhood home, my knees tucked into an oversized sweatshirt, my mind racing, my heart thumping. In an instant, I had acquired incapacitating post-traumatic stress disorder. I lost any shred of hope or trust I had left within me, along with my will to live. Even before that event, life was a struggle. I grew up in insecurity and endured many traumas. By the time I was 18 years old, I lived with anxiety, panic disorder, PTSD, and debilitating depression. To numb the pain, I used alcohol and distraction. I tried multiple pharmaceutical medications and various therapies. Nothing created lasting change. It wasn't until I found healing within the safety of love and through a dedicated meditation practice that true healing would begin. Since that time, I've given my life to helping others heal. I've not only practiced the art of healing, I'm the embodiment of it. I stand before you today as a testament to the potential of the human spirit and to the power of love. For 25 years, I've sat within the stories of my patients. I've seen them through anxiety, depression, PTSD, and crippling grief. I've laid my hands on the friendless, the heartbroken, and the sick. I've seen Western medicine fail patients who come bearing their hearts and leave after quick visits frustrated, pharmaceutical prescription in hand. And the maladaptive behaviors and dysfunctional cycles repeat over and over and over. And so I started doing something new with my patients. I started treating each one of them like irreplaceable treasures with great love, care, and patience, and something new began happening. They were having better outcomes. A substantial body of research supports that healthcare providers who are empathic, compassionate, and loving are linked with better patient outcomes. I hadn't performed any magic or miracles. It was simply the power of love that had that transformative effect. The power of love is not only supported in story and anecdote, it is deeply rooted in scientific inquiry. In babies, the presence of love is crucial for the activation of vital brain networks. A loving parent and baby's nervous systems will synchronize or co-tune. It's called synchrony. The more love, the more synchrony. Synchrony ignites a cascade of health benefits to include better attachment style, reduced stress hormones, emotional resiliency, and a robust immune system. Do you remember the last time you locked eyes with your baby, a grandchild, or a friend's baby, and felt that pure, yearning innocence staring back at you? In that gaze, limbic resonance, their mirror neuron system is being activated. This is a complex network in their brain that will lay the foundation for mental and emotional well-being, empathy, and trust. You see, a baby bathed in attuned love will blossom into a healthy, thriving, resilient adult. What happens when love is absent? Infants deprived of love and care in orphanages often fail to thrive. Many die. The Adverse Childhood Experience Study of 1995 to 1997 reveals that children who grow up in abuse and neglect experience negative outcomes across the board. These include more mental and emotional health disorders, more addiction, more homelessness, more chronic disease, and even early death. In medicine, there's something called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. We commonly call it broken heart syndrome. The loss of great love can literally weaken the walls of our heart, sometimes fatally. You see, love is not mere emotion, it's powerful medicine. It's crime prevention, addiction prevention, and loneliness prevention. This isn't fluff, this is science. Love is strategy. Why does all this matter? Because we're at a breaking point. Parents fear sending their kids to school amid rising violence, while children are told to carry naloxone in their backpacks to fight fentanyl overdose. Adults face endless uncertainty, while youth suicide is the second to third leading cause of death among 10 to 20-year-olds in the United States. We are breaking under the weight of despair, division, and eroding hope. What can we do about it? Here are 3 tools to remember. We reconnect, raise, and radiate. First, we reconnect because we're more disconnected than ever from ourselves and each other. We've been taught to go outward for our needs. I'll be happy when I get that CEO position, when I pay off my bills, when I find my soulmate. Those are wonderful goals to have, but the truth is, the solutions exist inside of us. Everything we've reached outward for, pills, potions, endless scrolling, and narratives, they're a dim echo to what's inside of us. Beneath the stress, conditioning, and inherited fears lies our true essence, the unfiltered spark of the soul, like children, before the world dulled their shine, vibrant, creative, curious, non-judgmental, peaceful, joyful, loving. That's not a luxury, that's our factory setting, the original software of the soul. And when we return here, we stop outsourcing our aliveness and unlock clear-seeing solutions. Solutions that could heal all of us and end useless suffering. Solutions that appear obvious once we remember we're born of the same intelligence that grows redwoods from seeds and weaves sunlight into tulips. Number 2, we raise ourselves. When we stop going outward for our drugs, dramas, and distraction, we naturally raise our own level of consciousness, which is our innate capacity for healing and growth. You see, we humans are wired for something much bigger, something transcendent. And throughout history, scientists, scholars, and sages have outlined models to describe this quality innate to us all. Psychologist Abraham Maslow called it a pyramid of needs, climbing from basic low-level survival at the base of the pyramid to self-actualization at the top, becoming the most we can be and achieving our full potential. The David Hawking scale rates emotions from low, like fear, anger, and shame, to high, like love, joy, and unity. And even the ancient medical system of Ayurveda discusses the chakras, energy centers that start at the base of the spine, governing mere physical survival, to the crown of the head, embodying the qualities of peace, joy, unity, and enlightenment. But raising ourselves doesn't have to be understood in a purely philosophic way. We can look to neuroscience to teach us the neural correlates of raising ourselves. Our brain is neuroplastic, which means that it's malleable and changeable. Just think of going to the gym and lifting heavy weights on your biceps every day. Over time, your biceps will become harder, larger, and stronger. Our brain is like that. What we focus on and do every day affects and shapes our brain. You know what it feels like when you're fearful, frazzled, or angry? That's the limbic brain kicking in, a lower, more primitive animal brain center handling fight or flight. There we're hypervigilant, on edge, and anxious. There's no room for clear thinking. What keeps us trapped there? News images of fear, violence, unfortunate events, unprocessed emotional trauma, political division, anger, outrage, chaos. These stressors lock us into a lower, more primitive animal brain center, like the bottom of Maslow's pyramid, merely surviving. We're disconnected, distracted, anxious, and angry. You see, the qualities of love, compassion, kindness, empathy live in a higher brain center. It's our prefrontal cortex. If we want to create a better world, more peaceful, just, and sustainable, we must inhabit that higher brain center. There we unlock clear thinking, emotional control, moral reasoning, more empathy, more trust, more understanding. You might say, how do I climb into my higher brain center in a chaotic world? Well, there's many ways, meditation being one of the most potent. And the science is more nuanced, meaning the brain works as a network and not floors in a building, but it makes the point. And number 3, we then radiate. When we reconnect back to ourselves and raise ourselves, we then radiate that health, healing, happiness, and vitality to all those around us in a ripple. Neuroscience teaches us we're like radio towers or tuning forks. Our mood and energy contagious to all those around us. I can hear the skeptics again, and here's what they're saying. There's really bad people out there. I'm a good person. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Why do I need to change and transform myself? These people need to change. The problem with that enduring narrative is that no matter how badly we wish for these people to change, we have no control over that. We only truly control ourselves. Lao Tzu, the ancient philosopher poet, said, if you want to awaken all of humanity, you must first awaken all of yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give the world is that of your own self-transformation. Imagine taking these transformations everywhere. Foster care, Group homes, victim support services, domestic violence shelters, juvenile detention centers, prison reentry programs, each our own jobs and professions. That's where healing happens. History teaches us that humanity has evolved through our darkest hours, from barbaric sacrifices to brutal executions. We are not just capable of progressing, we are wired for it. But the outdated structures and mindsets that have brought us here cannot lead us forward. Albert Einstein captured this struggle perfectly. He said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Which means we need new ways of being and thinking to transcend this current paradigm. You see, change will never come from policymakers, politicians, or governments. It will emerge from the hearts of each one of us. Envision our planet viewed from above, a beautiful blue sphere where we are all interconnected. From this perspective, divisions over race, religion, and territory appear irrational. It's like the cells in our very own body fighting each other. Doesn't that sound absurd? We are one human family existing together precariously on this precious blue dot. When we uplift ourselves, we uplift all of humanity. Do you remember the prison inmate with the sad eyes, cradling the orange cat in his weathered arms? Love not only transformed him, it affected everyone around him. That is the antidote that will heal our suffering world. This is a call to action. Our future hinges on the choices we make collectively. You see, love is not mere emotion. It is the very key to our evolution. And I'll leave you with a snippet from a poem that I wrote. Today, I remind you a different story, one that's buried in your bones, awaiting excavation like an ancient temple of stones. Did you know you are a miracle, the greatest treasure and design? And every breath that you take is a gift from the divine. Tonight, when you lay your head in the darkness before you depart, who or what is calling to you from the depths of your own beating heart? And as we awaken into a brand new day, let's embrace a revolutionary narrative. Remember that love is our way back home, our most important evolutionary imperative. Thank you.